Okay, welcome to the Brickyard. We're online. All my layout is in front of you. Just the camera something well. And yeah, this is a great day. Playing with a Teletype. This is Teletype Model 33, very old computer terminal. It's about 50 years old, and we have it running. So we're going to see what we can do with a computer with a text hard copy terminal. And let me give you a quick tour of the machine. You haven't seen before. There's a keyboard, there's a printer. So when I type things on the keyboard, then it does print everything actually from the computer. And also the computer that's powering it will send it whatever text it wants to display. So this is before there were green screens. There was paper and keyboard. And then to the left we have punchtape as well. And so anything on the other printer also can have everything critical. Now, as you can see from the listing, there's actually two people logged in. That's one of them from here, logged into the computer. And then one of them from here, I have this is a session in the same machine, but you know that's all sorts of times when you can do uppercase or you can switch cases. It has uppercase only print, but I've actually got some conversion that turns everything low. And that's the side effect that can do uppercase letters. So, there is a lot of things to do. And I keep in a file called to do, and that to do is actually in GitHub and GitHub. Here is this GitHub repo, and there's a to-do list. So there's a to-do list. So it's all very interesting. We're going to be looking at GitHub in a web browser, but let's look at it on disk. I've started adding stuff to do with things I want to do in the curriculum in this course. One of them is I want to do like an ASCII workshop. So there's not yet to check on. At some point I will do that. And we'll get local people to bring photographs and we'll turn them into ASCII art. And they'll be amazing. And so I'm preparing some of this by framing some of the ASCII printouts and then you can see them still. And actually, if I switch back to the to-do in the browser, you'll see there's a way yeah, so I just keep putting stuff at the top of it and then it's getting longer and longer. So let's look at the very first thing on the list, just move it back to the talking about. It says, have a Python IPP server is in place. Way back when, I had a Raspberry Pi running something. I installed the Cups print server. And it's kind of cool because you could make it appear like a printer. And it is a printer, it's a laptop terminal, so why not just have it appear like a printer and go send things to it. Now it turned out that halfway was working and there's all sorts of to-do stuff. I wrote up some instructions on what I've been on. So you can go back and look at them. But also on this to-do, look at the bottom of the to-do list because there's an enormous set of stuff. So yeah, you can hardly hear me. Sorry about that. Let me check my audio levels. 1 second. Well, so it says there. And let me just switch this thing around. Oh, that's why. And okay. Oh yeah. I think with any luck you will find that this is a better audio setup because I'm now using the separate mic. So yeah, with luck you'll be able to hear me better. So thanks, Mr. Radar. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the little stream. I don't know how long this will go. I'm here with Abby, and she's quite happily drawing stuff. And if she gets bored, then we'll choose to do something else. Maybe playing Zork. So, oh yeah, let's talk about Zork. I had Zork running on this, and it works perfectly. It's the ideal game. It's apart from the way I've not quite got it set up right. Illegal option, I don't know what that's about. But this is like the perfect machine for running Zork. You can sit here all day and let's read it. It says Zork 1, the great underground empire. And eventually it'll put us in front of the house. Yay, thanks Mr. Radar. Okay, west of the house. You're standing in an open field, west of a white house, with a boarded up front door. There's a small mailbox here. Open. Mailbox. Oh. So there's something weird going on with this. I'm not sure what. I just said open the mailbox, and it kind of did, but I don't know why. Something strange is happening in a few different places, and I'm not sure what it's about. Yeah, it shouldn't do that. I'm just typing. I say read. The research. Huh. I don't know why. Yeah. Huh. Something weird has happened with like the input process on this thing. And
plus the word wrap is turned off anyway. So here we are. Here's a leaflet, and it says, "Welcome to Zork." So there's a bunch of work on this still to do, clearly, to make it really usable. And it's like mostly just debugging, and I'm not sure quite how to do that. I might take the little Coral board home and hack on it, but we'll see. But the other thing I discovered was there's a version of Zork that's been translated in Spanish, and I totally want to do that as well. It takes a little bit more setup because the Teletype doesn't do accented characters, and there's plenty of those. Do I want to leave it? Yes. So I set up this thing called ZES, and it takes us into the Spanish version of Zork. It doesn't do everything right. In fact, it doesn't do very much right. But I have this little like Python script called UTF that tries to read UTF-8 characters, like international characters, convert them all into printable by an ASCII machine, and do some overstrike. And so I thought this was a really cool idea. And it totally doesn't work. Or at least it totally nearly works. So the A on estas should have an accent on it, right? But because of the word wrap, it puts the accent on the wrong line. Now here, you can see hay un pequeño buzón aquí, and we got the accents in the right place. So that's good. But word wrap interrupts with it. And then the other thing is my like UTF-8 handler gets in the way of the input. And we've also got this bizarro input echoing thing going on that I'm not sure what it is. And so ZES is a cool idea, but it needs even more work than the regular Zork. So I don't know. I could like hang out all afternoon. And so, yeah, in theory this is interesting, and in practice it's just like really frustrating because I'm trying to be too smart with it, and I ended up with it not really working. So, and so the script. Yeah, it says like let's turn word wrap on, and then that interferes with this UTF-8 thing that does accents. And I tried. This is not running the Frotz interpreter; it's running the Galaxy interpreter with the cheap GIC screen driver, I guess, and then piping it through this utility called UTF, and then this is a little Python script that basically says read each character, split them apart using the Unicode data stuff in Python. And yeah, too ambitious. And in the end, it's like something more fundamental than that is broken. So I've put Zork on the back burner, I think. I mean, it's something I'm going to have to get working because it's such a great game and it's so perfect for the machinery. It's perfect for the machinery. It's just ideal. But I don't think I'm going to do it right now. The thing that I wanted to start on this other thing, back at the top of the to-do list, and it says hack a Python IPP server instead of cups. Yeah, so I'm trying to learn about how do I use this as a network printer, so that if you're connected on a Mac and you say add printer, then you can just discover that there's a teletype in the room. I also have a digital LVP16, which is a HP pen plotter, and I want to do the similar thing with that and turn it into just a printer, and you can send stuff to it. But of course this doesn't do PostScript, and Cups assumes that everything is PostScript nowadays, and I think generally Windows and Mac assume that every printer is PostScript, because they have been for the last 25 years. Oh yeah, I didn't turn the thing on. Sorry, I didn't turn the bot on. All right, you can do the bell now. Thanks, XORHash. You can ring the bell anytime now. There we are. That was cool. You can do it again. So yeah, the IPP. I discovered this little Python package called IPP server, and then I forked it and thought, hey, this is really actually pretty useful. It's Python, and I don't mind Python because I can more or less understand it. Yeah, what are we doing? We're just like hanging out. And I don't know how long this session is going to be. We'll hang out for a little while and see where it goes. So yeah, there's this package called IPP server that's basically a print server, and I want to install it on the machine. Because then it behaves like a network printer, and still all of the clients are going to expect that all the network printers are PostScript, but I think I can do this thing that says pretend it to be a raw printer, and yeah, and then if you're in Windows in WordPad or something, you should be able to say file print and have it come out on here. And the second order thing I want to do is to be in Inkscape on a Windows machine, for example, and say file print and have it come out on my HP plotter, my pen plotter, using HPGL. So I want to have printer drivers that are raw, that are not PostScript, especially for this little thing. So this IPP server is hackable enough that that I can make it do its thing. It's a small Python script that pretends to be a printer, and it doesn't implement the whole of IPP, but it's IPP is the modern ish replacement for all of the previous Unix print services, and it rolled them all up. But basically the only widely deployed server for it is Cups, and Cups is driven by Apple to some extent, and there is some stuff around. I forget where it is. I haven't dug in totally to kind of how I can do raw drivers, but yeah, there's a thing about yeah, just screamed. I know, exactly. I went into Cups as let me learn this thing, and it's, first of all, everything's PostScript, and second, it's just really hard to work with. And then it turns out, I think, raw print queues are going to go away from Cups, and then everything's PostScript, and you can't go back once you're in PostScript. How do you get plain text? It's really unreliable to script plain text out of PostScript. So let's do it raw. Hence the desire to use a home-built IPP server. And this guy, H2G2 Bob, wrote one in Python, and it works really well. So my task now is to just go install this thing. I'm going to install it onto here because that's where the phone is. Solution: learn PostScript to make silly things work. I kind of know PostScript a little bit. But PostScript is, PostScript's great. But it's more complicated than I need, because this is a 1970s teletype. Oh yeah, I know PostScript a little bit. Let me show you some. Up on my GitHub, there is actually a PostScript file, and up in the somewhere down in here, bin patterns. Yeah. Where is it? Template.ps. This is a little piece of PostScript that you should try sometime. Just drop it onto your printer. It prints out paper tape, and the great thing about PostScript is like the scale is exactly right. It's like you can do things that are exactly an inch wide, and they're going to print exactly an inch wide. And it's like, PostScript's great. Anyhow, let's go back and try and install this thing. Now I need to remember the URL, and it's my GitHub/IPP server, and what have I got in the home directory? I don't want to make this like a subdirectory. I want to put it in the home. I've got various things in the home directory. Oh no, my unword wrap thing is busted. What? No, something weird is going on. What on earth is going on? I say ls and wow. I know what. I'll just log out. And it'll log me back in again. This is not going ideally. No, this is behaving weird. Like, what is up? What is up with that? Let's try it here. Where's this thing? Clear. CD. LS. That looks okay. And does it bear any resemblance to what came out on paper? Well, almost. I guess. I mean, there's some extra new lines. Why am I getting extra new lines? Okay, that's good. Oh, my light just went off. Okay. I mean, there's stuff in the TTY. But I don't know. I'll have to review that and see, like, is it right? Is it completely busted? Is it outputting color codes? It is doing some, yeah. The term info driver that I have, the term does some escape codes. Oh, maybe LS is doing color codes. That's what you mean. Yeah, I did STTY-A so I can like go review it in depth at some point. The joys of a hard copy terminal, it's always there. Yeah, the color codes. Nope. There's no LS colors that I can tell, but yeah. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Speed 300, well, 110. Erase pack H. Kill, control U, even odd. New line, echo, no tabs. Yeah, that's right. But then Unix was smaller and simpler then. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Besides having like a HP plotter, another machinery followed me home, which is a Deck Rider 4, which is like the last. It's like the Bentley of hard copy terminals. It's awesome, and it's like 15 years old, newer than this thing. So at some point I want to get that wired up, but it's almost new in box. It's like literally new, but I didn't get the box. Amazing. So anyway, for a future day, what I want to do here is source, Telnet lib, temp, data, ASCII art, cat samples, docs, MISC. What's in MISC? Oh, there's a few bits of random stuff. Okay. It's weird, yeah. It's doing some auto wrapping kind of things that are really odd. Huh. I'm just going to clone this in the root. Git at github.com colon IPP-server Okay. So yeah, let's get a copy of this in here. Then we'll have an IPP print server, and it's kind of nice because it lets me specify a custom icon and all sorts of nice things. And I guess, so by default it runs on port 1234, so I want to run it on port 631, the normal print server port. And so if I do that on port 631, I've got to run it as root. And so I guess I don't really want to run it as root. I'm just going to run it on the default port. Let me review this browser, this print server. It's just Python, so you run port 1234, and then it has commands that say what do you want to do with the documents that get printed. And in this case, it's saying save them into /temp, or you can say run and then run some command. So this is my kind of print server. It's like, let's just be a server and then shell out to whatever you want with the result. Like, that's a good thing to do. So yeah, I like that. I'm not going to get as far as doing anything fancy with a raw or custom PPVs or anything like that. Oh yeah, thank you. I think you're right. It's going to take a long while, even longer than I expected. I thought, yeah, this is take a minute. It'll take like 5. I believe there is git clone -q as well, so you can actually tell it be quiet. Certainly there's git push -q, which is useful. So yeah, let's print some tape, because I always need more tape. Yeah, tape is always kind of cool. I'll print a little bit more. At some point, I'm going to use tape really, rather than just printing pretty patterns on it. Oh yeah, it prints just there. Really? What? Yeah, okay. Yes. Well, Git is slightly strange. It's amazing, but it's slightly strange. Yeah. So, yeah, this IPP server, I've made a couple edits on this already. Let me show you them because they're like work in progress. The first one was to say I want to be able to customize from the environment. I want to be able to set like the name of my printer. So IPP printer name, IPP printer info, IPP printer make and model. I want to set to be like Teletype 33, and then also I set up so that you can have custom images on the printer. So I guess I'm going to do this right now, and because it needs capital letters, I'm going to do it in here, in my SSH terminal, and we'll see how that goes. So, printer stuff, export, what were those things? IPP printer name, IPP printer something or other. What was the last one? Make and model. Okay. Could always set up CDS on my server. Haha. Yeah. I'm happy with Git, despite how stupid it is sometimes. So, yeah. Let's see, have we got much further? We're still going. That'll teach me. Eventually I'll learn before I cut a hole in the paper with the printing. It's only 49% done. So yeah, the other thing I want to do is like drop in some icons, some custom graphics for this. I'm gonna like repurpose the tux directory, and oh yeah, absolutely. I want some icons, because the reason for icons is when you discover this printer on the network, you don't want it to look like some laser thing. I want it to look like a teletype, a real Teletype Model 33. Yeah. Icons for the printer dialog. Exactly. So, So yes. Oh yeah, there's another environment variable called IPP data dir. And let's have a look at that thing again. Look for IPP data dir equals ASR33 cups data. That will do. And I want this to be called printer.png. There's three icons. There's like tiny and small and large, or small and medium and large or something. And there's printer.png, printer-small, and printer-large. And for now I think I'll just leave them all the same. Yeah, so there we are. That's my mods basically to this thing. Then in the data directory there's some like text files. Hi. IPP, there we go. Okay, we haven't checked out any files in the directory yet, so when we get there I'll copy these files from here down into that directory, and then we'll have like a local override of what it is. So, how are we getting on? We're at like 60%, 81%. Yeah, well, these are my own photos. So I'm not concerned about copyright because I'm not taking other people's images. I can take my own photographs, and you can use my photographs if you want to, because they're just anything in this Git repo that I'm putting stuff in is. Hey Erasmus, welcome. Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah, anything that's in that Git repo is MIT licensed, and that's almost functionally equivalent to like the share alike attribution, whatever, something like that. I'm trying to be. I mean, for the Zork thing, for example, the Zork Spanish translation is like you can just download it, but the link where I found it says don't just download it. It says buy it, but it takes you to PayPal, so it's like, yeah, okay, of course I'm going to buy it. It's like a couple of bucks. And I'm very pleased that somebody has produced a version of Zork in Spanish. But then I'm going to broadcast it, and I don't know if that's within their... It's like, if I broadcast somebody's translation of a Zork game, how does that work? I don't know. I'm just going to do it anyway. Mauricio Diaz, if you're ever watching this, then just call me. Alright. Finally, this thing is checking out. So yeah, a bit of context. We've been here since the late morning, and my little assistant... You want to come say hello? No, she doesn't want to come say hello. My young assistant is been going since the morning. She's doing fine, and maybe she'll show you her pictures, or even the story. Do you want to show the story? No, the one you printed. This is the product of a morning's very hard work, and it has an enormous story, which at some point we will go read. And then she's got lots of other drawings. These are hand drawn. At some point we'll get out the pen plotter and do some pen plottery things. So anyway, Abby is not using the system right now, so do you want to use it? Do you want to play Zork? Oh well, Zork kind of broke, but you can help me. Mind the wires. There you go. Grab a seat. Okay, my little assistant's actually going to... she's actually going to help do stuff. Yay!
Oh, I can't sit there.
No, you can sit, like, I don't know, here next to me is probably best. OpenBSD's Hack 6 has been broken for years now. Really? I don't even know what Hack 6 is.
Can you write in it?
Oh wow. I don't even know what that is, but I'm going to go investigate. That's really fascinating. Now, we have to wait until this thing, until it finishes. It'll only be a couple of minutes. And then you can run the printer. You can start the printer.
What am I going to do?
You'll do the typing,
Okay, alright.
if you like.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do the typing. It's only a couple commands.
Okay.
All right.
I'll put it online.
Yeah, no, leave it the way it is. It's online. Don't put it on local because it will disconnect off the computer and...
I mean, local.
Yeah, no. I'm going to get you to type some commands in here for the computer, and they're going to start the printer.
Is it done?
So, yeah, can you say log out?
So, like, in words or
Yep,
something?
log out. L-O-G.
Write it?
Yeah, L-O-G.
Okay, I know how to... Well, I'm going to be in the way.
Well, you sit right next to here and you won't. Sit right beside me.
That's,
All right. There you go. That's good. Yeah, sit like off to the side. No, off to this side.
Oh gosh, I can't do that.
All right. It doesn't matter. That's fine. So type log out.
Hold on.
There you are. Even better. Okay. Now can you reach over and type?
Yep. Log out?
Yep. Because if you type log out... Oh, hold on 1 second. Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Yep.
Log out and then hit new line, or line feed rather. Yeah. And it says, so log out is all one word with no space in it.
Oh.
Yep, that's it. And then, yeah, thanks. And then it logged you back in. And so what that did was it put all of the printer stuff that we just wrote up in here.
I would like to
It put it into the environment. So now we're ready to start the printer.
can I put this up?
No, we're going to do a bit more typing. So can you say CD, letters, CD,
Just CD.
yeah, space.
Are you gonna...
I'm going to tell you what to type.
I'm sitting right here.
Okay, shall I type it? Or are you going to?
What? Why is CD?
CD means change directory. And then space. And then IPP. And then hit Control and I at the same time. Alright, and then hit new line feed rather. And so, yeah. Absolutely. So the IPP server directory has my print server. IPP stands for Internet Printing Protocol. Okay, now what you want to say is pip. Pip is the Python install program. Pip PIP space install INS T-A-L-L. No, sorry. T-A-L-L space dash, which is this one here, E space dot. Alright, try that. Line feed. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's see. Yeah. Okay. So this is installing the printer, the print driver for the IPP, the printing protocol. And the dash E means installing like debug mode or developer mode pip. In other words, it's going to install it from the current directory. And all my requirements are already there, because I have the requests toolkit already installed.
Like you cannot see the words.
Yeah, you can, pretty much. I mean, it blurs, and I can't zoom it in any further, but I think you can see it. And, yeah. Are we going to read this?
Sure.
Well,
Too loud.
yeah, it is too loud, yeah. But printed on a teletype. Written very carefully on a teletype earlier. And it goes basically, this is a creepy story. It's called Run, Warning, Do Not Look If You Have Nightmares. 9 o'clock, New York City, 1982. And then it goes on from there.
No, it does not.
Anyway, alright. Now we have installed the print server. Now we're going to run the print server.
What can I rate?
Well, I want you to make this a print server, and then we're going to try print something from my laptop. So to do this, just say IPP, and then hit Control I, and this is tab, which fills out the rest of the word. All right, IPP server. Now, yeah. Well, this is in the makerspace, so it actually gets turned off when we leave. At least for now, it gets turned off every time we leave. So it says IPP server space dash dash these ones port P-O-R-T space 1234 space save S-A-V-E V, where's that? Hard to find. Yep. E space dot.
How you doing today?
How are you doing? Hey. All right, hit new line, hit line feed.
What?
Go on. This'll start it running. And there we are. It's running. All right. Yeah. So this is the makerspace. No, it's actually, I've moved out of the house. I'm not upstairs in the house anymore. This is actually now a real, for real makerspace. Let me show you around, because some of you haven't seen this yet. So I've got it on public camera. Zoom away out. All right, we are now actually in.
This is what I bought last week.
Here we are. This is my little area of a real makerspace called the Brickyard Collaborative. And that kind of junk. Oh, this
No, I think, I'm not sure if it's those, but I think the make was on
Writer 4. And this thing here is a pen
And
plotter
this.
for future.
This is me.
You want to be in the camera again? Yeah. And then we have some bikes, and we have some wood shop and metal shop equipment, and it's a real makerspace, and it's kind of new. I mean, this whole setup is a new place. So
and then to lower it, put this one on there, and you can just step on the
Yeah. So yeah, that's the brickyard. This is our new home for this thing. Yeah, a Deck 4. Yeah, a Deck 4, which is, I mean, if you think of the Teletype as
Is that
the,
zoomed in now?
I think it's back the way it was.
So right now, in this mode, the
Oh no, it zoomed way out. Yeah,
and pulling the part together working, so I pulled
let's zoom it back in again. Zip, there you are.
Whoa. Zoomed into my face.
And let's attach it there. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's two.
There we are, that'll do. There's a bit of drift on this camera thing. Yeah, so the decorator, I mean, the Teletype is like 90s, mid-60s vintage stuff. And the decorator is like very late end of the 70s. This actual model, the one I've got, has got a 1983 date stamp on it. Oh yeah, we're running a printer.
Yeah, I'm like,
Let's see if I can discover the printer. So the way that I discover the printer is I go to my web browser, and this is going to be a bit interesting because it may not show up properly on OBS. So let's go here and try it. I'm going to go IPP ://
bye, I'm leaving
dot
you.
local, which is the machine,
I'm leaving you guys.
colon 1234. And in theory,
Your lights are off.
I don't know why my light went off, but that's a sign that things are going to fail sometime. So yeah, if I just put IPP colon stuff in the browser bar, then actually it does, but you don't see it right now. So can I go mess with this and see? There is a piece of UI. I'm going to show this one. Alright, so it's popped up a little dialog from Chrome that says open addprinter.app, and if I say yes, open addprinter.app, then I get another pop-up that says, are you sure you want to add coral.local? And then I say continue, and it communicates with my printer, and you can't see this yet, but it's actually just not doing anything. Oh yeah, setting up coral.local, and now it says unable to verify. Oh no, that did not work. Okay. Well, back here, I wonder. Let's try again. IPP colon. Well, actually, let's go here and get myself a new shell. Yeah, I think we're gonna call it a day in 5 minutes. I just want to see if I can get the printer to print. Okay. Okay. Now, can I get here to coral.local? Yeah. Okay. And it's running on port 1234. Oh, it's listening probably only on the loopback interface. It actually says listening on 127001. So let's try that again with yeah, that's better. That's much better. So now it's actually listening on the Wi-Fi Ethernet address, and there should be an audio stream forwarded back to the device submitting the print job. What a beautiful idea! Oh. Love it, love it. So let me go back on this thing. // oh, I turned my browser. IPP // Coral.local port 1234. I get a dialog and it says open add printer.app and it says continue. Am I sure I want to add coral.local? Yes. Setting up the device, creating the device, and my print dialog is creating the device. And then I think it did. But where is it? It's not there yet. Okay. Maybe it just takes its time. I don't know. It seemed to succeed. And then it doesn't show up in the printer dialog. And I don't know why. Are you sure you want to do this? Yeah. Oh, there it is. Bang! It is. Curl.local has appeared and it shows idle. Now the images didn't pick up. I'm not sure exactly why, but these are the default images from the printer driver from that Python thing. I just have to slot in authentic teletype photographs. But that is actually my printer. Okay. Well, I can close that out. And yeah, let's close that out and go back. And I wonder. I think we are going to see, right now we're going to see raw PostScript coming out the printer. Well, we're not even going to do that. I'm running IPP server as a foreground job. And so really I have to put it into the background, otherwise nothing's going to happen. And I'm running it with this command that says save. And and when you say save, it says basically any print jobs that come in just get saved to the local directory. I do want to try it just to see. So if I go into my web browser and say file print, I'm going to print this web page that I'm on to coral.local, which showed up. And let's see if it happens. And go back on here. Do I have a browse dialog? I do. What does that actually look like? Oh, I think something worked. Yeah. Okay, so it's saved a print job. And if I switch back onto this thing, it says Coral is in use. And I think my machine's like running super slow because it's working very hard with OBS. But yeah, the description of this thing and the icon, the description says H2G Bob's IPP printer AirPrint. It hasn't yet picked up the description of being a teletype. But I think that's just my environment is not working right. But it took a real print job onto here. And the next thing I have to do is just like run this in background. All I got to do is run it in background. And have another background job that like looks for new files in the directory, in whichever spool directory I've decided to put this in, and catch them to the device. So yeah, there's in here there's this print job .ps, And so that enormous print job .ps is the PostScript output from my web browser. So next I need to work on a PPD file so that it'll treat it as a raw printer instead of a PostScript printer, and if it sends PostScript, then convert it to plain text. But yeah. IPP underscore or dash? IPP dash. It's PostScript. That's a nice GUID. But absolutely spoolable. I mean, yeah. Oh, it's actually PDF. Interesting. Okay. Well, I have a PDF file pretending to be a PostScript file. And, yeah, I need to get plain text. But now I know that actually anybody who's on the Wi-Fi in this little space here will be able to discover the Teletype as a hard copy printer and send print jobs to it. Yay! Yeah, PDF. Oh, yeah, I saw your question earlier. Yeah, thanks. I completely forgot to answer it. Let's have a look at that. I'm going to grab the camera, actually, and show this in a bit more detail. Zoom way out. All right. So no, it does not come with pre-punched sprocket holes. The sprocket holes are punched along with the data, and so plain paper goes in and it gets punched. It's just the middle to the track. The middle track is like an always-on punch pin, and it's smaller than the others, and it's always there. So that's the secret of punchtape punching. Is no, it's not special paper. It's just an inch wide. That's the only thing that's really particular about it. Anyway, printing a PDF on this thing turns out to be very, very, very messy indeed. Is it pulled before the holes get to the sprocket? It actually is. Right, so let's zoom in again from the top. You can see there's a little knurled right in the middle there. This little knurled thing is, I just got hit by the carriage return. This is what grips on the paper. There's a release button that lifts it off of the paper. But if it's punching, then this thing is pushing the paper through the punch. So that is the drive mechanism. So yeah. Oh my goodness, yes. By the way, this is also 8-bit data. And some of the first 8-bit data that we've had on this machine. It's not an 8-bit clean data path, because my STPY stuff is doing, it's inserting nulls after a new line and a few other things. But it's actually 8-bit. You can see it's punching all of them. Anyway. Enough of that. That PDF is going to take a while. It is time for me to go fetch my little assistant and see what trouble she's got into. And yeah, there we are. I think I'm going to call it a day. Well, a fun afternoon. Anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out. Really appreciate the time you're spending here, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. And we'll do some more. Probably not midweek, maybe Wednesday. But we'll see. Maybe Wednesday night, Eastern. And if not, then next weekend. Thanks, everybody. Catch you on Twitter. See ya.